Good morning, friends. So, Team Integrated again came up with one more synthetic prescription. Last time we have taken Kali Mur. This time we are coming up with the Kali iodide. So, how synthetic prescription helps, and then if you have multiple cases, how you can evolve a theme. That is today's our objective. So, we will directly share the case. So, this child, 18 years old girl, she had come with very severe allergic rhinitis with lot of sneezing, lot of allergies to dust, pollen, humidity. When suddenly it gets hot, that is summer season, rainy season, milk and milk products. And this allergy is there last 10 years. Lot of irritation while touching the nose, immediately sneezing starts. Aggravation with slightest change of weather, and see it aggravates at night at 4 to 4:30 a.m. Whenever she gets this allergic attack, she said it drains my energy. The second complaint, which is of recent origin, is of panic attacks. There were two major episodes of panic attacks. One was uh, just before the board exam and 4 months before that. So there were this type of two attacks. She felt completely lost at the time of exam. There was a sensation of freezing, numbness, lot of hot and cold sensation comes. And she was really scared about it. She said, I had become completely blank. I forgot everything, totally blank. I could not remember anything. I lost my 10 minutes and then slowly I could focus on it. But I always have fear that it will come back. Now, whenever there is mild panic attack, I try to control it. So these are the two issues. So I asked about her nature. She said, I'm diehard fan of dancing. I just love dancing. But now it was 10th standard and I have to focus more on studies. Marks to lana hi hai. So I stopped all these activities. अब मुझे करके दिखाना है. So I have to stop my playing, dancing, music, everything. But I am athlete type of person. I have lot of interest in music and dance. I just love sports. I enjoy traveling. I like to go in field for trekking, football, coco. All these are my interest areas. So there was history of change of school, and she was in girls' school before. So she said, this is co-ed school. So she said, there is no play here. Here girls are just sitting and talking. And parents say, आप बैठ जाओ, तुम्हें चोट लग जाएगी, तुम कुछ मत करो. And this was shocking to me. In girls' school, there was a good competition, the tabra competition hota, and we are just run and play. But then I could not take it in this school. So what I did, I joined cricket classes and I took part in the match cricket. And since then, I'm always in field. I just love playing. And I was the only person in my school who is playing. And there is a recent history that there is some major event happening in her school, and she's uh, taking part in most of the activities, but she's a head choreographer of the group. So something about family. So she said, we all are angry types. Anger runs in our family. Father is very strict. He's strict about studies and performance. He always says, you need to earn your livings. Mother is simple types, but she too is very strict in studies. When someone is misbehaving, when someone makes sexist or racist comment, This type of behavior hurts me. It makes me angry. I won't bother who is there. I said, anger runs in our family. So I immediately express it out. I express verbally or I start screaming at the person. What are the general symptoms? She said she likes sweets, extreme liking for sweets, 3 marks. But my cravings keeps changing. This is important symptom. It keeps changing. I like ice cream too. I like sweet and spicy, that mixed taste. I get lot of perspiration, especially while playing and whenever I'm doing any exertion, that time there is a lot of sweat and usually it stains and it has offensive smell. She described her dreams. There are a lot of dreams and there are one dream after another dream. Hmm? And she says, I can see details in the dream, what type of ring person is wearing, what type of clothes they have. So she can see everything that. And she said her dreams keeps continuing. Plus she gets dreams of dead people. Many times she got this dream that she is dying in car crash. She is bleeding till death. She loves traveling. Thermal is hot. She likes open air. There is a lot of fear of spiders, fear of examination. There is claustrophobia. Sometimes I just can't breathe. Usually it happens in lift or crowded places and in classroom too. About food, she said, I feel happy when I see food. I really feel very happy. Money wise, I'm very stingy. I save a lot. Most important thing in my life is money. Everything revolves around money. And then she said, I see that in next 30, 40 years, I can make a big villa and I stay in that and it should be of my name. So this is the case. If you see the anxiety part, you see typically anxiety is of exam and that is about anticipatory anxiety. And what happens in that? She gets numb, she freezes, she forgets everything. So the whole case, if you see, talks about the strict parenting, it talks about the performance, it talks about the exam. So everything is performance related. So for me, fourth row, that is school age issues were very clear. And the first column, which freezes, which forgets, which gets numb, was very clear. And see, a very known remedy sets there is Kali. And Kali's anxiety, we all know, is very free flowing, floating anxiety. And uh, then allergic complaint also, if you see it, it gets aggravated at 4 a.m. So that confirms the Kali. But challenge was which Kali? Hmm? So I could see the huge energy this girl has, unstoppable energy. Like when she came to new school, uh, she did not like girls sitting and just talking and doing nothing. She did not like that care. Na? Parents are saying, don't do anything, sit. Hmm? So she found out her way. She went into cricket and started working on it. So lot of energy, sports, athlete type of girl who likes dance, breaking, football, all this type of energy. And then with choreography, dance, I see that fifth row of mineral where there is a iodine element. Hmm. So little bit about iodine. It is a row of creativity. So it has lot of energy. Along with energy, lot of weakness comes with the complaints. Our both the complaints, if you see, allergy, she said, it drains my energy. Panic also, she says, I feel very weak after that. And along with that, forgetfulness is a very important symptom of iodine. There is high energy which gets utilized. So in this first case, we are not able to see any syphilitic picture, like syphilitic type of violence is not there, but it is more of a tubercular energy. And it is in 17th column. So there is a theme of disease, destruction, and death, which we see only in dream. Hmm? Patient is talking about that death, slow death, killing, and accidents. So we see the a picture of iodine with tubercular energy, that high energy, claustrophobia in closed places, allergy with weakness, and panic with no desire to eat, and forgetfulness. With this, Kali iodide was given in 2022 when there were, see, this complaint was there last 10 years. So weekly doses were given, but patient immediately used to respond to medicine. So whenever she was better, she never used to come back. And she was only coming into the attacks. So the first year, approximately 4 months, we treated with weekly doses. That too, not very regularly. 2023, only 2 to 3 attacks are there. That is to very less intensity. And this year she came only once. That is recently a month back with mild symptoms, and only one dose was given, and she is better with that. So this is one more case. This patient is still under treatment, but it's a very old case where I missed Kali iodide. Why I missed, I'll share that also while explaining the case. So this man is of early 60 years, and it's a long stuck case of psoriasis. Psoriasis is on extremities, lower extremities. It is there from foot to the knee. The whole area is affected with gutted psoriasis. It is lot of itching, and itching is usually at night. After 11, 12, itching increases. And we have given Kali iodide 200 weekly last 3 months, and almost 50% complaint is under control. So my observation over period of time, extremely loquacious person, extremely, he just goes on talking, 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 and it doesn't bother if there are people sitting in outside or not, but he wants to tell his story, detailed story. And observation was always rapidly he enters the cave, being there is huge energy, always there is lot of sweat on the body. And then that actively he goes on telling his complaints. And the most of the content was his successful career, how brightly he managed everything, very self-praising talk. But along with that, there were always been a critical side. Like he always used to talk negative about his wife and his family. Very negative. So what happened? Because of these long stories and this behavior with wife and talking very self-praising talk and huge energy, night aggravation, I gave lot of reptile medicines. But there was no registration at all. But then over a period of time, I observed he always asked about my son. He asked about my husband. He asked them, asked about how are they, what are they doing, which was something different for me. Then I again assessed his case. And then he said, My childhood was always been full of struggle. There was a lot of hardships in childhood. My father was a contented person. See how he's using words. He's a contented person. That's why he did not do much in life. But because of that, my childhood suffered. Mother struggled a lot for family. I have a lot of respect for her. She taught us values. Very strong lady, very aggressive. I'm lot like her. I was very attached to her. She passed away in 90s. But patient said, "Ma to ma hoti hai na." And he really expressed those emotions. He has one elder brother, and he always talks very respectfully about him. He said he's a parent figure to me. I have a lot of respect for him. So what is not fitting in reptile is this: the family, the attachment to mother, the respect to elder brother, and overall the way he's talking with the doctor also about his doctor's family. So see, so much family theme was there, which because of his stories and self-praising talk, probably I ignored. So, how is your nature? So he said, my life was full of struggle and challenges, lot of hardships. But in spite of that, I supported my family. I did lot in my life. After that, I supported my brother and his kids too. All are settled and stable now. See the words again. All are settled and stable now. I was always been giving types. मैंने एक वटवृक्ष खड़ा किया है. See again, what is this वटवृक्ष? वटवृक्ष is the banyan tree who gives shadow to many. Many people sit under that and feel relaxed. Hmm? So he said, मैंने एक वटवृक्ष खड़ा किया है. But I was always been very irritable person. I used to react immediately and instinctively. I always prove my point. At work, I was very different person. When it comes to work, I was very straightforward. I was always been fighter. कंपनी में मैं सबसे अलग ही दिखता था. See, I was very different in my company. My work talks, aggressive at work. And he also said कि जैसे एक प्यादा होता है जो वजीर को मात दे देता है. I was one of them. See, प्यादा is kali iodide. When it becomes kali iodide, it becomes a wazir. That strength it gets. So he said कि वजीर को मात दे देता हूँ. Since childhood, always been automatic reaction. If anything wrong, I don't care who is that person, but I react. See, first patient also said that. If anything wrong, I don't care. I react. So lot of anger. He still remembers all the insults, but I'm not a revenge taker. Hmm? He himself said, all insults are there, but I have never taken any revenge. I'm not a revenge taker. I have photogenic memory of all the insults because my father was weak. People insulted us. And my work is very organized and punctual. See, this it has gone this way. It started with work, then again he went into insults and family issues, and again he went into work. So, what are the generals in the case? Are is he's again very hot patient, but patient said I can manage any extreme heat or cold too. See the sustenance and tolerance of the patient. Craving for sweets, profuse sweat. Both the patient profuse sweat. See, this again talks about the metabolism, no? Strong, fast metabolism. Again, observation was he was always been criticizing his wife. She cannot match because overall because she cannot match his pace. He's instinctive thinker. He takes action fast. He's reactive, but wife takes some time to take decision. She's the person who can controls his activity. So he was always been criticizing and always complains that she cannot match my pace. Wife, so thinks and works and patient is instinctive. So clashes comes. And there was one more incident like his daughter-in-law is working, which he does not like. He said, we have everything at home. Why you need to work? And because you are working, your child is suffering. And because that person is working, this man has completely left his work as it is his retirement was near. So he left and he is taking good care of that child. So with this, again, if you see the whole Kali and iodide theme comes, the Kali theme, the family. Here again, if you see patient is extremely attached to the mother. And what mother gave? Mother is a hardworking lady and she gave values to him. And he identifies with mother. He talked about mother, father, brother. For everyone, he has a lot of respect. Huh? And then he's talking about the hardships and struggle, which were the very basic needs to survive, which were not fulfilled in childhood. And he has to work a lot. all that insults are still there in his mind, and it makes him restless and it makes him work. Very hardworking, and Vattavriksha is again a theme of family line. And about the iodide. Iodide does not allow you to sit quiet. In this patient now, he's really doing very good, everything he has, but still he's very restless, active. He keeps his grandchildren teaching, you have to work good. घर का नाम अब खराब नहीं होना चाहिए, मैं यहाँ तक घर लेकर आया हूँ, आपको ये संभालना है. That is the thing. So huge energy, fire to work, extremely aggressive. This person is really very aggressive, and that's why I went into a lot of reptile remedies. Insulting to others means only wife is very critical about her. Uh, and typically, if you see here also, itching is there at night and hot patient. With that, Kali iodide 200 weekly doses are given last 3 months, and he has gutted psoriasis, and it is almost 50% better. So with this understanding, we'll move ahead. Dr. Anita has one more case. She will share her case, and then Aditi will share few more cases. So I invite Dr. Aditi to share her case.
Yeah. Anita, you are sharing or shall I share? Yeah, whatever. Okay. I had prescribed Kali iode long back. You know, when we were about maybe 15 years back. So this patient had come to me with acute cervical spondylosis pains. So he had very acute pains from neck radiating to his upper extremity, up to his fingers. And that pain was so acute that he used to become very restless, and pain used to be aggravated at night when he was at rest. So throughout the day when he was working, he did not feel any pain, but at night he just, tossed and turned because of pain. He couldn't lie down. He would sit up, and he used to get so irritable because he did not get sleep. He used to become very impatient and very like he was suffering a lot because of that pain. So his wife was my patient. She came to me and she said he is getting this acute pain. I don't understand what is to be done. He is taking painkillers. He has been to ortho. He has done MRI and everything, but there is no change in the pain. With painkiller, it subsides for some time, but then again, like whole night, he is all in pain only. So I told her to bring him, and night aggravation, restlessness, severe pain, and he used to be very excitable, impatient, and irritable because he couldn't get sleep. So even through the day, he was irritable. So I called him and I took his case. So the story was like he was working on a ship. Now he is retired. He is in his 60s. So all his career was on ship. And on ship also, he used to be in maintenance department. So he told me he used to take alcohol. So when I asked him why you took alcohol, he said, my life was very harsh. My duties were tough. I had to, on the sea, on the ship, I had to climb on the ladder and paint the highest point of the ship. So if I couldn't climb without taking alcohol because I used to get frightened. So after taking alcohol, he used to become bold. He used to climb up and do all the work. And once he, lost that, if he came out of the influence of alcohol and if he saw down, he used to get very scared and frightened. So only under the influence of alcohol, that boldness was there, and then he could do all the work. So it had become his compulsion. He had to drink just to maintain his job. And one more point he had discussed was he had a room partner who was of different religion. So he used to be vexed inside, all the time, seeing his habits and seeing him praying at odd times and all that. He used to be so angry within, but he had no courage to fight with that person. So on one side, you see a lot of irritability, excitability, vexation, and on the other side, you see timidity. At work also, you see timidity, and he overcome it by taking alcohol. So this here also, to deal with his partner, like he said, I used to keep away I never talked to him, because if I talk to him, I will be angry, and he is from a different religion. So if he, he was in that country only, so he could call other locals and then he can attack me. So that was his fear. And now, like after retirement, when he's staying with his family, he's a family man. Maybe I don't remember very well, but his cervical also had started because he was doing some household job. So he's a total family man, very attached to his family, and they go for masses and all, typical Christian person. So they go for prayers, weekly prayers very regularly, follows family traditions and all. So on one side, I could see similarly, like similar to Nirupama's case, on one side I could see Kali, and on other side I could see syphilitic expressions in the form of alcoholism, and also pains which were night aggravation with lot of restlessness, irritability, excitability. And this night aggravation was very, very typical. So I was thinking of which Kali to take. So again, in that case also I came to Kali iode, because iode has lot of restlessness, anxiety, agitation, and syphilitic expressions. So I gave him Kali iode that time, and within 2-3 days, his pain had reduced by 25%. Like he could at least sleep for a few hours at night. And then I continued it in repeated doses. I used to give him, that time we used to feel syphilitic remedies cannot be given at night. So I used to give him during the daytime only, once a day. So for a few days, I continued continuous doses, and then I tapered it off. So he was much better, and hardly, I think he must have taken medicines hardly for 2-3 months. So when Nirupama shared her Kali iode case, I was reminded of that particular case. So I will request Aditi to share more of her cases so that we can derive a image of Kali iode.
Yeah, thank you, Anita. Um, Basically, see, I had treated Kali Ayod case many years back. He is a criminal lawyer, and I think around at the age of 65 years, he had come to me. Basically, his daughter takes treatment from me, and he was suffering very badly. He was in different city, and he had a very, very bad attack of sinusitis, and it was going on for 2 months, and no amount of antibiotics were helping him at all, and very severe headache he had come with. So that is how then I was approached for this case, and when I took his history, he is basically a known criminal lawyer in his city, and 65-year-old, a good practice, very good practice, and they have a joint family. So he used to look after the whole family very well, because he's the eldest person of the family, and but he along with looking after the family, I could see a lot of dogmatism in him. Yeah, very dictatorial. Even when he was talking to me, there was a kind of air of command in him. His voice was a dictatorial type, very angry, at the same time very caring for the family. I think he was looking after a family of 15, 18 people, joint family. And he used to see to it that everybody's needs are taken care of very well. And so that is how that person was. And in his presentation, I could see a lot of restlessness. I mean, it was so difficult for me to make him sit for that continuous 15-20 minutes of history. That time mobiles and all were not that common, but still he could not sit only, very restless and very hurried in talking. Like he wanted me to finish my history also very quickly. That finish it off and give me some medicine. You can see that language in his eyes. And a very, very angry type of a person, very restless, very angry, and very severe headache. And the modalities were very severe pain was throughout the day, but still it used to aggravate at night. He could not sleep at all. And he would get one sleep little bit, and then he would, after midnight, it was impossible for him to sleep because of the pain. It was that severe a pain. And what else was there in him? Yeah, I think this was the case, and the discharges were very foul and greenish. whatever discharges were coming out of the nose, they were very green, foul. So on this basis, I had given him Kali iode. Again, it was a synthetic prescription, thinking about like taking care of the family and all. That is what, and anxiety behind that, taking care of the family. And that restlessness, that anger, that thing. So I was coming to Iodatum. And this night aggravation, this syphilitic kind of presentation, very thick, greenish, foul discharge. On that basis, I had given him Kali iode 30 because he was suffering from chronically this pain and all, and there was a lot of sinus obliteration in the CT scan, and he was advised surgery as a last option, and then he had come to me. So I put him on Kali iode 30 TDS. I gave him for 2 weeks continuous, and after 2 weeks he came, and his pain had gone substantially. It had come down, but again 2-3 days before visiting me, he had again got a bad attack. So I straightway raised, I think at that time I didn't have 200 with me, so I gave him straight Kali iode 1 m BD 4 doses and put him on SL. And after that, in 2 weeks, his pain subsided completely. All his sinuses drained off. And like for many, many years, in fact, I just inquired about, because I wanted to share this case. So I inquired with his daughter. She said, after you treated him, he has never got a sinus attack again. And like before, he was getting it very frequently. So this was a case of Kali iode in acute on chronic sinusitis. Another case is of arthritis, actually knee joint pain, severe knee joint pain. There also I didn't have much history available because it was a distant patient and I just had few symptoms to prescribe on. And typically the patient, old patient around 70 years of age, and female patient, and complaining of this osteoarthritis, knee pain, very severe knee pain. Her modalities were also very typical. That of course osteoarthritis modalities, we do see that when getting up they get the pain and all, but her modality was again very severe pain after midnight in knee joint. Like she said, then when she tries to turn the sides, she cannot, because the knee pain is so very severe. Very severe knee joint pain was there, and the x-rays were showing a lot of destruction. And only on that I had prescribed her Kali iode 30 BD continuously, and she improved remarkably. She never had to go for surgery also. She could manage without surgery. And then of course after 1 month of continuous Kali iode 30 BD, I had reduced her medicine, and but she came out of it very well. And along with that, I had also given her, I remember, osteoarthritis nosode because of the very severe osteoarthritis with destruction. I had given her osteoarthritis nosode, few doses, but she improved very well on Kali iode. So these are my experiences with Kali iode. And I think so. I am prescribing more on physicals and modalities and all, with a background picture of Kali and Adam. But today, I think with Nirupama's explanation and all, now we can prescribe more Kali iode more formally with mental symptoms and detailed mental picture. Yeah. So I call Kushala to further explain Kali iode. Yes, Kushala.
Yeah, thank you, Aditi.
Yeah.
So friends, every synthetic prescription has two parts. And for that, we need to understand the periodic table. So taking help of Dr. Jan Sholten's theory, I would like to give my understanding. So Kali, as we see, is row 4 over here and in the first column. And iodide, as we see, is row 5, that is the silver series, and almost in the 17th column. It's almost the end, the second last column of the periodic table. So when we say row 4 or row 5 and column 1 and column 17, what do we mean by that? So when we talk about row 4 of Kali and column 1, Kali, we know, is a man of principles. He's a man of his word. If he gives his word, he will do it. So he's full of, for him, his work, his duty, his task, his family, the security of the family, everything to do with security, safety, money, home, all these is a very important aspect of row 4, inclusive of Kali. So they're very reliable and very stable people. They're very self-assured. I mean, they know, they're optimistic. Whatever they do, they will do with full optimism. But to an extent that, they cannot take anything new. They want it to be extremely routine. And he's very practical in his approach. He cannot take anything artistic or anything out of the box. So because of this, being so routinistic, so pragmatic, and so much task-oriented, it's like, a horse with with his blinkers, where you can see everything straight. So then because of that, they can become, the negative shade of him gets into dogmatism, and they become very rigid and stoic. So row 4 is more to do with the regular skills. It's the regular, the manager, the clerk, something to do with the regular skills. But even these skills, they will do it to the extent of perfection and precision, because they're very conscientious about their work. But to be so much a task-oriented and a duty-oriented man and so routinistic, you have to have everything under control. So because of which he's very closed on his emotions. So he will not express his emotions, though we know that Kali has so much of anxiety in him. Now, being column 1, what you see is column 1 is the structure is just developing. So it's the like initiative. I'm just beginning. So you're an amateur, you're not seasoned. So everything you do very spontaneously, very instinctively. So they're very simple-minded. They cannot think of any complexities. Whatever they do, tasks, they will do it simply and they'll go on doing it very naively. Even if there's a problem in the task, or if there is some problem taking place where his approach is not feasible and he has to go into a little different approach, they can't. They'll just go straight. The way they're doing it, they'll just go on doing their duty and task. So in that sense, they're very thoughtless and stubborn, because you can't think of other way of doing things. So they are lonely and alone because they're emotionally so closed. So they appear very simpleton, like, you would feel that they're so foolish. Why can't he think otherwise? The structure is weak. Though you have, you are such a workaholic person, but there is not that strength in you. So you need support and you need to be dependent on somebody. So it's like Kali, when you come Kali and column 1, you're simply doing your duty. You're simply, doing it in a very simple-minded manner, in a very naive and a simple amateurish way, and you need a lot of support. So this is something about row 4 and column 1 of Kali. Now, as we see, the iodide is in the silver series. But in the silver series, it is in the 17th column again. Okay. So when we talk about silver series or row 5, it's more about ideas, creativity. It's about, aesthetics, beauty. So wherever there's beauty, there's admiration. It's about show, the silver spoon, the silver tongue. It's about show, performance, admiration. But the iodide element of the row 5, iodum, has to do with food. Along with the ideas and creativity, iodum has a very high place for food. For him, it's like food. You are so much into food and you eat a lot of food, although you do not gain weight or you even lose weight. So in provings, there are dreams of in which, there's not enough food, or there's a dream of starvation. Also, iodine has an element, they're so active, there's so much of energy that they can't be contained. So they're very active, busy, restless. So even their speech and thinking is very active, very fast, very impulsive, very quick, because of which there are so many thoughts and so many ideas running inside you that you cannot contain them. So you become extremely forgetful. But the other side of forgetfulness is because they get obsessed about this forgetfulness. So they want to write down everything that they remember, or they will keep checking and rechecking. This is the obsession aspect of the iode, because you don't want to forget. You don't want to let things go. You want those ideas with you. And the most highlight aspect of the iodine is they feel that they need the right of existence. I mean, they have to do something, they have to be busy, they have to work, they have to gain their daily bread, or they have to work for their daily bread, because if only that happens, then they have the right to exist or to survive in this world. So any time where they feel, since they are in column 17, any time they feel that they feel banned or expelled or condemned, then they would rather escape and go to a place where they can start fresh, and also they can survive in this new circumstances. Now, column 17 is almost like, it's the end. Your story is coming to an end. The structure is dissolving. Now it's like, now everything is coming to an end. So it's like your expiry date is now, you are in the expiry period and you're expelled. You're no longer part of the group. People would prefer to ban you and condemn you. And so it's about letting go. So when you are at the fag end of your life, it's like, your soul is now ready to leave you and you're still holding it on. You're not letting go. So it is very painful and it is very sad and disappointing if you don't let it go, because now there is not even the hint, or there's not even glimpses of, remembering your past memories. It will be better if you let go. But they are still holding on because they still do not want to be banned. They don't want to be exiled. They don't want to be condemned. They still want to be, part of the group. So they feel starved. They feel that people whom they seek support will starve them, will attack them, will betray them. And they would rather escape to a place where, they can survive, or they have the right to exist. So when you analyze this Kali iode in this form of group analysis, the idea that they have is that they need to do their duty, they need to work, they need to do their task to get the right of existence. They're very duty conscious and they are excellent at fulfilling their duties, their tasks, and they really work hard. And because they have so much of energy that they don't know where else to use the energy but for the work. But beneath all this hard work and this workaholism lies a feeling that they have the right to be here, or they have the right to survive only if they work and they earn their daily bread. Otherwise, they feel that, I shouldn't be here. If I can't fulfill my task, it's better I immigrate and start a new life somewhere else where I can survive by again working hard and gaining my bread. So the situations which would, be more appropriate for Kali iode would be retirement. When you're already now, you are expiry date from your company, or when you have suddenly lost your job, or in cases of famine, disasters, wars, where suddenly you're with nothing, and you feel that if I have to exist, or even if I have to make my place here, it's very important that I really work hard to earn my daily livelihood, to earn my bread and butter. And he feels very betrayed, stabbed in the back by people whose support he seeks, his group, his family. Kali iode, because of the optimism of Kali and that type of energy that iode has, they're very cheerful, very talkative, and very witty. But in extreme situations, they can be extremely harsh, abusive, cruel, and violent. So this is what I would like to share. Dr. Shobha, will you please, share the rubric understanding of Kali iode?
Yes, thank you, Kushala. So, friends, we saw very good cases being presented by Dr. Nirupama, Dr. Anita, and Dr. Aditi. And then Kushala has really given us a very good, the total integrated understanding about the Kali iode. So with this, now, as we know that, the Kali iode has two uh, elements in it. One is Kali and another is a iode. And we have this synthetic prescription. So similarly, now let us see that even in the repertory, what do we see in the rubrics? Then we see both the combinations of these, whatever has been described in the Kali iode. We see some features of Kali, we see some features of iodine in the rubrics. And there are some unique features of Kali iode itself. So let us see, I've just tried to give in short. So if we see that, what is the basic personality of this Kali iode when they are into their childhood or in the adolescent age, then we see that they are very loquacious, highly cheerful and exuberant. And along with this, they have a lot of jesting in them. They love amusement. So there is an amusement desire for, and they are very busy, they are high energetic, and there is a lot of excitement. And excitement as from wine. See the rubric, excitement as from wine, and the delusion as if he is excited and intoxicated. See, so this again tells us about the iodine type of picture, of the high energy and the high vivacious and the loquacious person who loves amusement, who is with full of energy. At the same time, when they enter into the adulthood or the work life, then the type of rubrics that they are very dutiful. The way we know that Kali is highly dutiful and have very sincere about their work. So we have the rubric that duty, too much sense of duty. And they are very busy and passionate. Passionate about their work, busy in their work. And passionate has choleric personality. Now we know there are 4 types of personalities that, or the temperaments that has been seen in our, and there are different, the remedies are also differentiated as per temperament when we go from the temperamental studies, like the others being the phlegmatic, melancholic, and and which other?
Bilious.
No, sanguine. Yeah, and sanguine. So the choleric is, this is the Kali iode is choleric. And choleric means very short-tempered or a very hot-tempered or difficult type of personality. If you see the pictures of the choleric personality also, it is full of like anger and a frown which is there on their face. So here again, that type of personality is seen in Kali iode. And as we know that Kali being over and over or out and out anxious personality. So there is the rubrics which are there in about the anxiety. Few of them, just see what is it? Anxiety, sleep during. Now sleep is like, the time when you just want to relax and go to sleep. But even in the relaxation phase of their own sleep, they are quite anxious. That is what has been, if we can understand from this rubric. And there also the Kali iode is 3 marks in this rubric. And anxiety with red face. When is the face gets red? When you are very angry, when you lose your temper. So Kali iode with that anger also, which is seen. Further, we will see what type of anger also Kali iode has. And this anxiety is better while walking in the open air, which is again the feature of the iodum. Also, along with it, there is a restlessness, anxious. Now, Kali iode is known for both these features are very, very characteristically seen in it. One is a restlessness, very high energy, restlessness. They are unable to sit at one place. And the second is a high level of anxiety. Also, there are features of fears which are seen in this Kali iode, which has fear of evil and fear of misfortune. Now, if we see that when this Kali iode has they come across some ailments,
either the anxiety or the restlessness gets exaggerated, and it goes like beyond the level of the normalcy. That is the time again they go into the disease state. Or if we see that there is an ailment from domination, they are very sensitive to domination, then they would go into the disease state. And what is seen in children, that they have a very bad effect of the harsh upbringing or a long continued history of excessive parental control, which is seen in children. If this is seen, then they will end up into the disease. And on entering the disease, what we see is a lot of syphilitic features. The Kali iode per se is a very highly syphilitic remedy. So you see a lot of syphilitic features in it. Like, the anger is very violent. The gestures, this is a single remedy rubric, that gesture makes of the hands involuntary motion of the squeezes things. Single remedy rubric of Kali iode, that so much of anger which is there in his mind, that as if he's just squeezes as if he's making his hand gestures, as if he's squeezing those things, as if मतलब क्या कर दूं उसको, this type of anger which is there. And this anger, along with the anger, there is a lot of cruelty and hatred. Impulses are very morbid, they are unreasonable, and they are hard-hearted with his family. Again, this is a single remedy rubric of Kali iode, hard-hearted with his family. We saw in Nirupama's case, that in the first case, we saw the shade of the strict parenting. Because that girl was of around 19-year-old, so she was into her very adolescent age. Whereas in the second case, which was the case of an elderly male patient in 60 plus, that patient who was expressing, his hard-hearted feeling, his reactions of hard feelings towards his wife and towards the others. So that was seen in the second case of the Dr. Nirupama. So hard-hearted with his family, unfeeling with his family. And with this, what happens in the Kali iode, a peculiar thing which is seen in Kali iode is that this patient, they used to love their children initially very much. And after that, when they are coming under this circumstances and entering into the disease state, they go on to the other extreme of it. What happens is that they become very irritable towards their children. They become very abusive towards their own children. And they've developed aversion to their own children, to whom they loved very much earlier. But they suddenly start feeling them as a burdensome. At the same time, they've again become indifferent also towards the same children. So this is something, again, a very unique feature of Kali iode. If you see, like, these are again a single remedy rubrics of Kali iode. So with this state, after this, they go into the state of the, like, insanity, mania, and stupefaction into the disease states. So with this, friend, I would like to just wind up with the Kali iode. Nirupama, do you want to say anything, or anybody else wants to share anything else?
So basically, if you say that hard-hearted feeling or abusive feeling, so we need to understand this case. There is something very harsh happened in childhood, something for which you really have to struggle hard, not necessarily children. What children? Children speaks about the future. No? So they try to control them, they try to work on them. They should be, see, in the second patient, the children were quite well studied well. They were IIM, IIT, so he had no problem with the children. But if you see with wife, who was not able to meet his pace, he was quite critical with her. So their pace is very high and they pressurize everyone to meet that pace. They want everyone to struggle that hard. And there where that syphilitic miasm comes, tuberculosis. So that is what we wanted to show through our cases. Kali iodide, which has a good range with huge energy to violence of syphilis. With that syphilitic expression, if you see the acridity, the offensiveness, the discharges, which are greenish, Similarly, mind is also expressed in a similar way. So, anything else you want to share, anyone? Hmm? So, with this, we stop here. Do watch our video, subscribe, and give us comments in comment box. So, thank you, friends.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.